Hey everyone, Michael Unger here from the HR MacMillan Space Center with the Space Exclusive. We are going to be talking all about the Japanese space agency Hayabusa 2 that just returned from Asteroid Ryugu. And we are joined today very specially by Masaki Fujimoto. He is the Deputy Director General of JAXA, that is the Japanese Space Agency, the Science Institute. His role at Hayabusa is steering the coordination among space engineers, planetary scientists, and senior management members. Mr. Fujimoto, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
December 2014, let's go back in time. Hayabusa 2 lifted off. 4 years later, 2018, it makes his rendezvous with Asteroid Ryugu, takes some samples. Then a year later, 2019, leaves the asteroid. Just a few weeks ago, the sample return capsule lands in Australia. You've now brought those samples back to Japan. Mr. Fujimoto, this has been a long journey. Could you maybe tell us how you're feeling after such a long mission?
Yes, before the launch, we only had a very short time to build the mission. So that was really, really stressful. And then everyone was really afraid that this is going to be our second mission. We had Hayabusa 1 already. And Hayabusa 2 is in a sense, going to a more attractive target asteroid. And at the same time, making some revenge, correcting the failure we have been through in the first mission. So we wanted to prepare well enough, but at the same time, we only had very short time. So pre-launch days was really, really stressful. And then when it was launched, we thought that we can relax now. But at the same time, because the time was so short during the cruise, we did many rehearsals about the proximity operation. And I think that really helped well. People were under pressure. People knew that things weren't really prepared. We were not really prepared. So that made us really focus even during the cruise. Potentially you may relax a little bit during the cruise, saying that the launch is over, we can relax now. But it wasn't like this. During the cruise, the team members really focused and did the proximity rehearsal on and on and on. And when we got to Ryugu, we were so shocked by its unfriendly surface features. We are supposed to land on its surface, but everywhere on the surface was rocky, was rough. And the pre-launch design was that there should be a 100-meter diameter spot, flat spot, to which we can land. But when we got there, we realized that the biggest flat area has a diameter of 10 meters, and that's it.
Wow.
So after arrival, we need to improve the accuracy of the navigation, not navigating the spacecraft to the assigned landing spot by a factor of 10, by an order of magnitude. But as I said, because the team member has been rehearsing on and on and on during the cruise, I think the team was already, in a sense, ready for the challenge. And they improved the navigation accuracy by a factor of 10 within half a year and made 2 touchdowns. And the second touchdown after the impact experiment, excavating the subsurface material onto the surface, from which I think we did manage to get the subsurface materials. So yes, it has been a super successful mission during the proximity operation.
Yeah.
Then when he was heading back to Australia, there came the COVID-19, which is a challenge for everybody. So I don't have to tell you how the challenge is, because we all have been through this. But somehow we cleared the challenge and managed to recover the capsule and bring it back to Japan. And then when we opened the sample catcher, we found samples a lot more than we had expected. So this was the biggest moment in the mission yesterday.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you've almost been prepared for so many challenges. You've had to endure so many challenges, including the challenges with the first Hayabusa, and then also, encountering, the unfamiliar surface on Ryugu. But you talked about the samples. You brought them back, and you said that you've got more than you anticipated. So maybe you could share some pictures, maybe, and maybe tell us about some of the samples that you got. Maybe tell us a little bit about them.
Okay, we just had the press conference yesterday. So let me show you one of the images we have shown at the, oops, sorry. where did it go? Oh, okay. Found it here. So, well, it was yesterday. Just
Okay.
yesterday, we had this conference. So I'm sorry, it's in Japanese. But on
No
the
problem.
left-hand side, you can see the sample catcher
Okay.
inside of our facility, what we call curation facility. So the lid of the sample catcher was opened inside the facility, which is super clean and under the vacuum condition. And the right-hand side shows the zoom up of inside the sample catcher, and you can see these coffee powder looking like things, but it's not
It
just
does look
a
like coffee.
yeah, it's not just a super expensive coffee from the high mountains of Jamaica or somewhere. It's even more expensive. That's the
Right.
samples coming back from Ryugu, and you can see samples of various sizes, which is good for science, and there's some variation in colors as well. So, but this is something we expected in a sense. The two touchdowns has been very successful, and we have the footage from while we have the footage while we did the sampling. And if you look at those video, you can't think, just cannot think that it was not successful. So we had this expectation, but still, just seeing it is really was really a greatest day in my life. And I kept on sending this image to my friends in of space agencies all over the world. And all of them, when they reply, they don't write a sentence. They just say, "Wow," that's it. And again, that's the biggest applause I can never expect from my super serious space agency friends.
Yeah, wonderful. So have you been, you've just opened up the container.
Mm.
Have you been able to do any work with the samples? Could you, can you tell us about the composition of them? What have you learned about Asteroid Ryugu?
Yeah, that's a really good question because one of the most frequently asked questions during the press conference is, why do you take so much time? You got the capsule back, and why don't you just open it?
Yeah.
And the answer is, of course, we are so afraid of the contamination. What we are trying to learn from these samples is about the most, how do you say, most initial materials leading to the habitability of the planet, and those materials like the organic compound the current terrestrial environment that can be made within less than a second or something because of the bioactivity. But if you go to asteroid where you don't expect bioactivity, those complicated molecules, if they ever existed, it's going to be a precious evidence that something brought into proto-Earth could have been the initial seed for something that eventually led to the origin of life. And you don't want to you don't want to spoil such an incredible evidence. So we are so careful about contamination, and that's why it's taking so much time. And yeah, so about the analysis itself, maybe it's going to take the analysis or serious analysis will not start until half a year from now, because we have to do a lot of preparation for the analysis to be kicked off.
Well, it sounds like you've been working pretty hard this last little while. So maybe we can wait, for the samples. We can be patient till we get some data from those samples. But for space fans here in Canada, and of course anyone watching right now on YouTube, feel free to put some questions into the chat box. We're very excited. Recently, we just saw the OSIRIS-REx mission. They got some samples from asteroids. I think asteroids and space missions. We're very keenly interested in. But what's the reaction been like for Japan? How are you seeing your country reacting to this mission?
Well, I was in Australia. I was in Umera for 2 months, in the past 2 months. So I can tell more lively about the reaction in Australia than what it was in Japan. But as far as I did observe from remotely, there's been like the very first press conference after the recovery. The press conference lasted for more than 3 hours. So that, I think that really reflects the interest from the media and interest from the from the general audience. And from Umera, I attended an online meeting, something like this,
Hmm.
pre-recovery festival and post-recovery festival. That's how we named it. So and then I was talking to the interested audience through webinar, Zoom webinar, and also YouTube. And the number of audience in total was like 50,000, which is kind of incredible for such a event. It's really in the field talking to somebody who's interested, and it turns out there are so many young students, especially interested in what we do. So yes, we did make a big achievement, but I hope this is also not just a goal, not the this. Hope this will lead to seeding the explorer's mind of the younger people.
Yeah, and I can imagine that it's probably a relief for a lot of people to get excited about some news as opposed to watching news about the pandemic and and other things that are going on in the world. It's really inspiring to watch such a successful mission. So you did talk about seeding the future of the space explorers. So for a lot of people here in North America that may not be familiar with JAXA and this Japanese space program, could you maybe tell us about what the future holds for Japan in space and perhaps some exciting missions that you're looking forward to in the future?
Yes, thank you. So Hayabusa 2 is an asteroid sample return mission, and it's a relatively small mission compared to NASA or ESA. But it's like, I don't know, we at JAXA, we think we can do something, but the mission size is relatively limited. So we
Right.
are actually really scratching our head every day so that we can come up with an exciting, good mission. And I think
Hmm.
Hayabusa 2 is a symbol of what we do. And next to Hayabusa 2, we have a mission by the name MMX, Martian Moons Exploration. We will land on the surface of Phobos, one of the moons of Mars, and then get sample and come back. So that mission is planned to be launched in 2024. So we think the some some of the media people used to laugh at us in a sense, to try to tease us by saying that, oh, because you cannot do that, you cannot explore planets. Instead, you're just exploring asteroids. That used to be the dispute until some years ago. But
Right.
now with this big success, I think people will understand the true value in exploring the asteroids. If you're interested
Hmm.
in origin of the solar system, asteroids are them. It's the asteroid that you better explore. And so we have had that story, and exploring asteroids is kind of exploring asteroid is doable with a nice size mission that we can perform. So I think we are on the right track. We have proven that we got the right strategy, and we want to explore, we want to expand in this direction into the future.
Absolutely, yeah, and absolutely. I mean, I don't think that anyone, people that I know, would be poo-pooing or being sad about any space missions to an asteroids. I mean, like asteroids, as you say, they could have brought life here in the very beginning. They could have also taken away life, as we know with the
True,
dinosaurs.
true.
They had
Yes,
very large catastrophic consequences for our planet. So we definitely need to. They are part of our solar system. We definitely need to learn more about them. And I'm personally really excited to learn more about the Mars moon missions. This is really great. You said you cut out a bit, but you say 2024 is when they're going to be launched.
yes. So we're going to launch in 2024, and the sample return from Phobos will be like 2029. That's the plan as of now. And getting to Phobos has two objectives. You can regard it. I hope everyone knows about Phobos. It's like a 20-kilometer-ish potato-looking weird object. Nobody
Hmm.
knows where it came from, and understanding its origin is one of the objectives. So that has a flavor of asteroid exploration. And then if once we understand the origin of Phobos, I think we can have a nice crew of understanding a process that brought water or organic materials to Earth, like what we're doing through Habitat 2. And it also has the flavor of Mars exploration. Mars exploration has been the big dream for the agency, but NASA and ESA is going well ahead of us. Then how can we catch up with them? But not just catching up with them, doing something our own thing. And I think MMX, entering Mars exploration through Phobos sample return. Again, I think this is a smart strategy that we are cultivating now.
Yeah, no, I think I would agree. And you just talked about the dream for lots of different space agencies going to Mars. Of course, that has been, humanity ever since we landed on the moon. We've had our sights on Mars ever since then. You're the Deputy Director General for the Japanese Space Agency. Was this something that you always wanted to do? What has drawn you to make space your life mission?
Well, that's an interesting story because I'm originally a theory guy. I've been studying the in the body process, many particles colliding each other and eventually becoming planetary bodies. That's my expertise. So I always had a theoretical background, and if you have a theoretical background, you try to go for the best thing. Like you have the computer
Oh, it looks like you're cutting out a bit there,
the
Mr.
boundary
Fujimoto.
and at the same time.
Oh, it looks like you're back now.
Yeah, true. Am I back now? Yeah, I'm back. Okay. So I'm the theory guy. I do in that perspective, asteroid exploration was my was natural to me. And now Mars exploration. Well, then this is really about of habitability and was Mars habitable in the past and what happened to it, what so this is more complicated question. So I think the critical thing here is that we need to
okay, looks like
very easy,
Yeah. Looks like you're cutting out a bit, Mr. Fujimoto. The long connection over Zoom is causing havoc with us. But this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for getting up early out there in Japan and joining us, answering some questions. This is exciting times for the Japanese Space Agency, for the country of Japan. We're rooting for you, and hopefully we can connect with you sometime in the future, especially about talking about these Mars missions. But we might connect back with you when you learn more about the actual samples from the Hayabusa 2 mission. And thank you all so much for joining us as well. We will be back in 2021. If you are watching this video, it is December the 15th. We will be doing some special in-person engagements at the end of the month. If you check out our website, spacecenter.ca, you can check out a couple of nights that we're doing on December 29th and December 30th. Oh, and Mr. Fujimoto's joined us back again. Is your connection a little bit better this time? Not too sure. But also for anyone out there that is looking for some ornaments to decorate your Christmas tree with, we also have some special Space Center ornaments on our website as well. So for me, Michael, hope you have a wonderful holiday, wonderful solstice. Don't forget to check out the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn that is going to be happening on December 21st. Hopefully have clear skies wherever you are, and keep looking up. We'll talk to you.